The importance of living in the present is a topic that touches the essence of our existence, and we often let the past and the future steal our peace. Have you ever stopped to think that anxiety and worry can be traps that keep us from true joy? Believe me, living in the present is more than a spiritual recommendation. It is a practical strategy to cultivate hope and strengthen faith in God. By focusing on the present, you open yourself up to a life full of confidence and wisdom, enjoying each moment as a divine gift. But how can you do this in practice? Let's explore this journey together, where the daily renewal of God's grace can transform your perspective and bring new lightness to your routine. What do you think about taking the first step? Life often becomes a whirlwind of worries, doesn't it? This anxiety about the future can make us forget that the present is a precious gift from God. With each dawn, we have the chance to start over, cultivate hope, and realize that faith guides us. Imagine that when you wake up, you allow yourself to simply feel, savor each moment, like a hot coffee on a cold morning. This simple practice teaches us to trust that God has a plan, even when we can't see it. When we talk about living in the present, it is essential to remember that this attitude is not just a choice, but a way of honoring the life that has been given to us. Trusting in God frees us from the chains of what is yet to come. For example, if you are about to start a new project or change jobs, instead of worrying excessively, seek to act in the now. What can you do today to prepare yourself? Plan, but don't forget to breathe and live in the moment. Thus, this journey of living fully in the present brings us wisdom, revealing that each experience, whether good or bad, is part of our growth. As we practice this, we can reflect on the words of Jesus, who encourages us not to worry about tomorrow. After all, each day brings its own struggles and blessings, and it is in our daily trust in God that we find our strength to face them all. And by embracing this idea, we prepare ourselves for what comes next, God's control over the future. It is common for people to want to have control over their lives, but in reality, this only increases anxiety. When it comes to the future, it is essential to understand that God has everything under His sovereignty. In times of uncertainty, faith is like a beacon that guides us, reminding us that He cares about every detail. For example, if you are planning a trip or a career change, instead of getting lost in worries, place the situation in God's hands and trust that He will guide your steps. Understanding that the future is in God's hands does not mean that we should stand still, but rather that we can act with confidence and serenity. When we decide to trust, we feel a deep relief, as if a heavy burden had been lifted from our shoulders. Imagine that you are preparing for an important exam. Instead of despairing about the result, dedicate yourself to studying and trust that God will give you the wisdom you need. This change in perspective can transform your approach and open doors. Thus, when we let go of the need for control, we become more receptive to the opportunities that life presents us. Every step we take becomes an expression of our trust in God, who knows what is best for us. And when we reflect on this surrender, it is inevitable to think of the words of Jesus, who taught us not to worry about tomorrow, because today is a gift. And in that spirit, we move on to the next topic, the role of trusting God. Trusting in God is like an anchor that keeps us steady in the midst of life's storms. When we face difficulties, it is faith that sustains us and reminds us that we are not alone. Imagine a challenging situation at work, where expectations are high and stress is palpable. When you choose to trust in God, you find peace in the midst of chaos, knowing that He is by your side, strengthening your spirit and guiding your actions. In addition, trusting in God allows us to better deal with fear and anxiety. When we are faced with uncertainty, such as an unexpected change in our finances, trusting in God acts as a protective shield. Instead of giving in to panic, we can ask ourselves, what can I learn from this? This approach transforms our challenges into opportunities for growth and gives us the strength we need to move forward with faith. In short, trusting in God empowers us to face each day with determination and courage. It allows us to see challenges as lessons rather than insurmountable obstacles. And so, when reflecting on the importance of this trust, It is natural to think of Jesus' teaching, which invites us not to worry about tomorrow. Now, we will delve deeper into what he said about this in the next topic. When Jesus teaches us not to worry about tomorrow, he invites us to embrace the present with gratitude and faith. Each day is a new opportunity, and excessive worry can distract us from what really matters. Imagine that you have an important appointment, and instead of preparing, you spend hours worrying about what might go wrong. This anxiety does not change the outcome, but it can make you miss valuable moments. Trusting God means living fully in today, knowing that he takes care of our future. In Matthew 6, verse 34, Jesus reminds us that each day has its own worries. This statement challenges us to focus on what is ahead of us, instead of getting lost in thoughts about what has not yet happened. For example, instead of worrying about a presentation at work, you can focus on preparing yourself as best you can. This practice not only relieves anxiety, but also increases your confidence and effectiveness. In addition, trusting God for tomorrow allows us to live more lightly. By letting go of the burden of future worries, we make room for joy and gratitude. Thus, faith becomes a source of strength that accompanies us daily. Now, as we look at this renewal that Jesus provides for us, it is time to explore how God's mercies are renewed each morning in the next topic. God's mercies are new every morning, as the Book of Lamentations teaches us. This powerful truth reminds us that each day is a new chance to experience God's grace and goodness. Imagine waking up, and instead of letting yourself be overwhelmed by worry, you allow yourself to feel the hope that comes from knowing that God is giving you a fresh start. This daily renewal is a reminder that no matter what challenges you face, there is always an opportunity to begin again with faith and trust. Taking one day at a time is essential to enjoying this renewal. When we focus on the present, we are more open to noticing the blessings that God places in our path. For example, instead of worrying about what needs to be done next week, why not list 3 things you are grateful for today? This simple practice not only helps to change your perspective, but it also fosters hope and trust in God's plan. Each morning, we are invited to renew our commitment to faith and hope, and this renewal brings immense relief. By trusting that God is in control, people can face challenges with greater serenity and determination. This sense of inner peace is invaluable, and it leads us to reflect on the negative impact that worry can have on our lives. Worry is, without a doubt, a silent thief that steals our peace and joy. Too often, people find themselves trapped in cycles of anxiety, thinking about what could go wrong, instead of focusing on the blessings of the present. This constant rumination can affect physical and emotional health, creating unnecessary stress and undermining our trust in God. It is essential to remember that faith can serve as a powerful weapon against these worries. Casting our anxieties on God is an act of trust that transforms the way we face challenges. For example, when facing a difficult situation at work or in your personal life, you may benefit from praying for clarity and strength. This practice not only relieves the emotional burden, but also allows you to feel the presence of God watching over every detail of your life. Trusting in God, then, becomes a shield, protecting you from the storm of uncertainty. In addition, cultivating habits that promote well-being can help minimize worry. Practices such as meditation, physical exercise, or even dedicating time to hobbies that bring you joy are essential. As you move away from worry and toward divine wisdom, you begin to realize that each day is a unique opportunity to experience God's grace. This intimate connection can lead you to live fully, focusing on the wonders of the present. And of course, this transformation begins with the choice not to worry but to trust. The conclusion you need should encourage a real transformation in the viewer's life. Throughout this journey, we have reflected on the importance of living in the present and trusting in God. Now it's time to act. Ask yourself, what can you do today to embrace the present more? What habits can you change so that your life is lighter and full of hope? Remember that each day brings new opportunities to strengthen your faith and practice wisdom. Don't put off until tomorrow what can be experienced now. If you like this content and want to continue learning, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any news. Let's turn this journey into something extraordinary together.